Hi everybody, it's Julie from Artfully You. Welcome back. This is week 2 of our Drawing Fundamentals course, and today we're going to be drawing animals and insects by stacking shapes.
Up ahead, your path meets with mine.
So I always say there's no such thing as mistakes, but happy accidents. But I did make a little happy accident or mistake with this video in that I forgot to press record until about 10 minutes into the class. So I do apologize for that. I'm going to try and give you a quick recap of what you've missed. Basically, we looked at this insect, this fly, and we identified the two main vanishing points, which are indicated by the red lines on the photograph. So I penciled in those vanishing points, and then I looked at how I could construct the shape of the fly using simple shapes. So mainly oval shapes and a few rectangles for the legs. And here you see I'm starting to ink in the shapes now that I've kind of worked through them with my pencil lines. I did use my iPad for this to help me identify the shapes. So I'm using a program called Procreate, which I find really useful. And I've created layers. First of all, I created some layers with some red lines for the vanishing points. And then I created some blue lines to help me identify the shapes. And then that really helped me with the drawing. If you would like the notes for this course, then they are available. You can contact me at info@artfullyyou.ca, and I would be happy to send you the course notes. You can also sign up for all of the previous courses and notes. I do have videos for all of these, and again, these will be available in my store at some point, but if you need them sooner rather than later, then please do send me an email and I'll get those over to you. So once I've established all of my shapes, I'm going to be using a combination of hatching and cross hatching to shade in. I decided to do most of this drawing with ink. I love working with ink, and for teaching purposes it shows up really well on the camera when I'm teaching on Zoom. So I'm going to speed things up a little bit now, and hope you can follow along. The next part of this course I will be letting you hear the live recording. So, next thing we're going to look at is our cute little robin. Is it a robin?
No,
No?
no.
Well, a little
Like,
round bird, whatever it is.
Might be some kind of a wren.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
let's call it
That's
a
what
wren. Let's call it a wren. So, in one way, the shapes are simpler, but the image is more complex because we want to get this feathery feel. And there's some really interesting shapes. So again, I did break these shapes down for you already. So we've got the kind of oval egg shape, couple of rectangles, circle, we've got triangle. I didn't, oh yeah, put in this other triangle here for the wing. A rectangle for the tail with the triangle on the end. So what I would like you to do with this image is try and make the shapes definite geometric shapes. So triangle, circle, oval, rectangle. So I'd like you to construct it in a similar way to the way I've done it with these definite shapes, and make sure the shapes are exactly where you want them before we start sketching the image. Use whatever type of shading you would like. Hatching would work very well to get this feathery feel in this picture. So, because whereas the fly was smooth, this is, but don't worry too much about the shading. It's more about stacking the shapes. The interesting thing here is the bird is slightly turning his head towards us, whereas we've got like the butt view of the body. So again, think about those angles when you're working on it. So I'm going to flip screens again now. Stop sharing. Flip my screen over. Go to my gallery. There's my little bird. And I also have this ready here as well. I got my big bird. So you're going to work from this one. So I'm going to make this. So if you want, I am going to, for now, take away those shapes. And we're going to have a go at building those shapes together. And then we will refer back when we've done it to see if we got it kind of fairly okay. Okay. So let's start with the body because that's the simplest shape to us. So we're going to be working on an egg or an oval shape. I did also print out this as well, so I can refer back to this rather than having it, swapping screens. So let's look at angles first of all. So we've got this angle here. So it's I'm going to use my pencil for the angle. And then the top of the body is kind of here. And then I'm going to draw my oval inside, my egg shape inside. And then the head is another oval, in fact, slightly above. Then we've got our triangle. So the triangle's kind of slightly below the roundness of the egg. And then did you ever see those shapes that you can get for kids where it comes in like a book with geometric shapes and they have to make animals like this? Dean had one when he was little. He was teaching them about shapes. This reminds me of that exercise. He did it in kindergarten. So this is a triangle here. And then we've got okay, and then the beak. I'm going to bring back my blue lines and see if I did that right. I'm hoping that this is something you'll then be able to like do your own drawings and know how to shape stack. You know, when you see something you want to draw.
No, it certainly makes it more manageable. Things that I never would have
Absolutely. Yeah.
thought I could draw, because you wouldn't know how to begin or how to get it in proportion.
Yeah.
So with using shapes, it sort of breaks it down and makes it possible for us
Yeah.
to try things.
Yeah. And as I say, it's something that Dean did in kindergarten and I totally forgot about. And I thought that's like, why did I forget about that? Because it's such a good way to learn how to put things together. Okay, so when you've got your geometric shapes, we will go to the next step. If you can see, even with the bird, there are some vanishing points. Can you see this angle
Yeah.
here? And then here it's going, up here. So it's kind of the angle's going that way. And then even, the body is going that way. Yeah, it's fun. Okay, let's delete those shapes and let's start working on putting some commitment, shall we say, commitment to our shapes. So again, I'm going to switch to ink just so that you can see it. So let's speed things up a bit so you can watch this. Feel free to pause this and watch it in more time, in your own time. I'm actually going to put in a screenshot of the finished piece as well at the end. Last exercise for today, bit more challenging. Daisy the cow. I have
Oh,
done the
dear.
work for you. So I am going to show you my workings out. So the interesting thing about this one is we have, because it's in a field, we've got the horizon line that will help us a lot. And the convergence is actually just beyond the horizon line. So we're going to try and put our little vanishing point on the horizon line that we can see. So, I'm going to draw. I'm going to use my pencil because I don't have my ruler handy. I'm going to draw my horizon line. I'm going to give myself a little vanishing point here. And my cow is actually, we're going to do a rectangle, but we're going to do a rectangle going from our vanishing point. So let's do a couple of guidelines. Let's take a line They don't really have to be perfect right now. We'll just take a whole bunch coming off. Let's do a whole
It doesn't matter the
lot.
angle?
No, don't worry about it for now because we're going to have a lot of vanishing point. Let's just put a whole bunch of guidelines in for ourselves for now. And then let's draw one vertical line coming down. So you can take it all the way top to bottom for now. Okay, and then let's do another one here. A little bit like when we did our street scene. So we're going to start the cow like a little bit of a building. Let's just do make ourselves a little rectangle.
Trapezoid.
Trapezoid. But it's a rectangle with a vanishing point. So I know it's a trapezoid, but because we're sticking to our basic shapes, we're going to call it a rectangle. It's a rectangle with a vanishing point. Because we're trying to stick to sphere, cylinder, cube, cuboid, cone. Okay, so if you have a look at the cow, he's actually kind of like a cylinder, you know?
Mhm.
He's kind of like a cylinder, really, you know? So you could almost call him a cylinder to start with. Okay, so let's have a look at our shapes. So these are the shapes I've come up with for my cow. Okay, it helps that we've got this little building here. So the building kind of really helps with the vanishing point, kind of gives us a little bit of a clue. Because we've got that little tiny little building there. And that helps with perspective as well. So if we imagine our cow as a cylinder, okay, and imagine that the face is the top end of the cylinder, but we're not taking it all the way. Well, you could take it all the way and then we'll adapt it later. Let's do that for simplicity. Okay. And then our legs are little trapezoids, or we're gonna call them to keep our basic shapes. We're gonna call them little rectangles here. They're fun. Okay. Okay, so we've got a cone here. The nose is a cone. The nose is a cone. Um, and then from the cone, we've got the back leg. And then we've got now this is far too, this is where I know I've gone wrong because the distance is far too much here. And that's why it's good to
Oh,
use
yeah.
our shapes, right? So I know I've gone kind of wrong here. Little happy accident. So this space is more like 2 fingers. Bit of an oval shape there.
Oh,
We may have to continue this next week. Time flies while you're having fun. Okay, so I'm going to put in my triangle.
oh, I see.
See where the triangle is? Yeah.
It's closer to
So
the
there's
legs.
actually, yeah, so there's actually a square here. It's coming. Daisy is coming.
Ugh. This one's hard.
Yeah, that's why I think we might keep on working on this next week. Or you can work out in your own time. It's coming though. You see why it's important to get the shapes right before you start putting in detail?
Yeah.
You can easily go wrong. Now, would you like to A, finish this in the class next week, or B, do this for homework?
What are we supposed to be doing next week?
Next week, we are going to start using negative space.
Oh,
So
Let's do this for homework.
Week 3
Yeah.
is negative space shapes, which is a really fun thing to learn and really, really useful. Okay, so once I've got all of my guidelines done, I'm going to double check everything is in proportion. I did make a few modifications. I felt like I'd made the back a little bit too long, so I did adjust that in my own time. And shortly I'm going to be just showing you a screenshot of the finished piece with inking after I had erased all of my guide shapes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget that next week we will be continuing our Drawing Fundamental series, and we will be focusing on negative shapes and using product placement and background placement to get drama in our pictures. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.
And it's all I can believe. On my thoughtful days, I wonder what life you're living now. If you're happy with the things you do, if you keep your faith somehow.